and safe. Download today.
Okay, can somebody like
Yankee Doodle.
go on mute, please? Somebody is really making noise there. Okay. All right. That's good. Okay. Okay, so let me start over. So I was doing home based at a time where nobody was doing it. I mean, there were some people here and there, but nobody was calling it virtual assistant. Nobody, and it was hard actually to find a job. And I was fresh out of the call center. I was working before I was working in Convergys. Maybe some of you have been in that company. I was just a regular call center agent, but I was very tired about having to go to work. Please go on mute, please. And it was very hard because actually it's fine if you're not on mute, but if you have music, if you have pets, and if you have kids, please put it on mute, because I would really also like to get some engagement, you know, if I ask questions. Okay, so at that time I was just so tired of getting sick all the time, because the call center, I think the production floor made me sick because I have asthma, and I think it's the carpet, and I always had like allergic rhinitis, and most of all I hated having to traverse through traffic. And at that time I wasn't really like earning that much, to be honest, and I had to like deal with having to ride a Jeep. And when I rode Jeep, because of the traffic and everybody's like competing for the Jeep, then I would have to like go to work maybe 2 hours before or an hour before, or else I will be late. Okay. So I hated that. I hated that life. And more, even if I was a top performer and I eventually got hired in another company to become a sales manager, because I'm really good at sales probably.
Wow.
But it didn't feel like it was me, because I was no longer enjoying my life. I hated waking up every 6 p.m. to make sure that I'm at work at 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. I hated having to like, I don't know, being screamed at by Americans or other people who made me feel like I'm a second-class citizen of the world. And most of all, it was just plain exhausting, healthcare issues. And I really thought about it, like there must be a better way. And so I really like, that was back in like late 2010, early 2011. And it took me some time to really quit my job because I was so scared. Like, how can I survive, right? It's a good thing though, because I don't have kids. I still don't. I'm not married. Maybe because I am married to my business and my mission to help other people.
That's great.
But what I found out is there must be a better way. Okay. And so before we start our training, I would like to start with a prayer, so that, because I'm really, because I've been discerning, especially that this is the first time ever, by the way, that we're training newbies, like people who don't have experience, or maybe some of you already have experience, but this is the first time that we're giving a free training. And I hope that we have the guidance of the Lord, like moving forward, hopefully. Okay, so Let's put ourselves in the holy presence of God. In the name of the Father and Son and Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this wonderful day and this wonderful opportunity to meet so many wonderful people. Please guide us and lead us to where we're supposed to be. And most of all, please bless these people to learn quickly and comprehensively, as I will do my very best. And after this training, help us find clients for them so that all of them will have jobs. This we ask you, Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. In Father, and Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. So when I started out, guys, it wasn't easy. And I'm gonna tell you this because I know that there were people who were doing home based, but nobody wanted to share where they got their jobs. It's funny because all of you know Upwork, right?
Yes.
Do you know that nobody will tell me even where they, even just the word Odesk, because Odesk is the old name of Upwork, right? Nobody will tell me that it's just Odesk or something. I don't know. Baka they
Yes.
thought that the jobs will run out in Odesk if they tell me.
Padamutan.
Well, Odesk is pretty big back then.
Yes, but it
Hindi
was
lang siya ganun kakalat sa Philippines back then.
yes, but then you know what? Nobody will tell me.
Sikat na siya,
Even
pero hindi siya pinapansin before ng mga tao kasi 'di ba, most on corporate world. Hindi sila sa mga home-based jobs.
Kasanayan kasi ng mga Pinoy sa tayo. Parang more on mas tuwala sila sa contract, sa Upwork, kaysa sa home.
yes. And then the funny thing is, even if you have friends who have home-based work, before maybe people are sharing na, uy, you go to my boss, we have openings. Before, guys, talagang grabe ang crab mentality ng mga tao. Because, maybe because of desperation, nobody wanted to share information like where they got their clients. Maybe because nobody wants to be redundant. It was desperate times. And in my case, when I first started like doing the home-based thing, it was article writing. And get this, I wrote 500-word articles for $1. Imagine, I wrote 50 articles and I wasn't paid.
Yeah, ma'am. I have an experience too. So I've been hired for one of the member in freelancing, home-based for graphic designing. Then sabi niya sa akin, once may pinagawa siya sa akin na logo, 6 logo. So bilang graphic designer, mahirap yun talagang paglalaanan mo, syempre logo ng company yun. Sabi niya, pag nagustuhan ni client, tsaka kita babayaran. Tapos pagtapos hindi na ako kinontak, hindi na ako inuwan niya lang.
Yeah. And then there were so many of that. Actually, there's still many of that right now, but there were worse before. And what was worse is it took me months actually to even find something that actually paid. And it was really like, I remember that day, especially that day na when I wrote 50 articles na hindi ako nabayaran, tapos I was just given an Amazon gift card na $15.
Grabe.
Tapos I thought like, oh my God, what will I buy with that? I can't even buy rice.
Pero malaki na kasi $15 before.
Oo, pero wala tayong mabili before kasi wala tayo talagang mabili in Amazon dito sa Pilipinas before.
Correct.
Yeah,
So, oh my God, parang naiiyak na ako. Like, oh my God, this is the worst. I was in bed at that time. Like, I could, and my boyfriend at that time kept on nagging me na, oh, that's because tamad ka. You don't want to go to work anymore. Mag-apply ka na lang. Something like that. Naku, nagpapalibre lang ka lang sa akin. Mga ganun.
Ako din, ma'am. Nagagalit yung girlfriend ko. Lagi sinasabi na, Ano ba yung
Yeah.
mga bakit hindi ka kasi dyan sa ACPA? Ganun eh.
Oo. And you know what? At that time, I told myself, if there was a company who will vet clients for us, like for me, and like choose clients who really are reliable and who will pay me through my bank account or even PayPal lang, na talagang reliable na may office, ganun, I will really apply in that company. And I didn't expect that I would actually build that company years later. Because I guess it was such a huge parang struggle. Like, ang dami-dami. Even eventually along my freelancing journey, I found out like mga friends na, uy, mas grabe pang na-scam. Like, they work for a month or 2 months, talagang walang bayad. That's a lot. And we are actually, we have families. So that's essentially what we do here at Virtualasting. We actually don't get our clients through Upwork. These clients are direct to us. I guess because in the span of many years, we have so many international contacts now. We also have representatives abroad. I also meet clients abroad. And we really demand advanced payments. We have contracts in place. And it's been my vision from the very beginning when we started our company to provide legitimate home-based jobs for people who deserve it, who are hardworking and who want to succeed in life. And at the same time, given clients who are good payers and who value your work. So here at Virtualasting, we believe that it's not just the VA who tries their best. We actually also coach our clients. Do you know that? We actually coach our clients because a lot of them, they don't know how to manage people. A lot of them, they are like newbies in entrepreneurship. A lot of them are new bosses. And so many times I've also seen that the reason why their VAs like ghost them or quit on them is because ang sama ng attitude ng client. So that's what we do here, okay? So hang on just a sec.
It's okay.
All right, so today this is day 1. And for day 1, we have a couple of topics. By the way, this is a 15-day training spanning to 3 weeks. And some people would say, bakit ang haba? Because I don't want to give you a bullshit seminar, okay?
It's
Kasi ang
actually
dami,
pretty short.
oh my God, I would be like, many times I see that there will be people who will be doing trainings na they will charge something like 3,000 one day seminar daw for virtual. It's impossible because there's so many things that needs learning and needs.
Yeah,
So this is not just
that's true.
like a lecture, but we will have a lecture plus workshop.
Oh,
So
that's good.
majority of the days we will be having activities, and a part of the training will be that you will do the activities and you will submit it so that we can check it, okay? And these activities, you will be doing them, but no worries, you can use them in your portfolio, okay? And this is very important because you must have something to show for it why they should hire you, right? Like for example, because especially right now that the job market for virtual assistants is already
It's
quite
very,
competitive, right?
yeah, totoo yan.
Quite competitive.
Yes.
Marami nang
Yes, and like for
marami nang
example, In Upwork, there are hundreds who would apply for the same job.
Correct.
Diba?
Makadami na po.
And I'm proud to say that I've never had a client in Upwork. All of them are direct. And they're all legitimate. And so I will be the one, so if ever you will be with me, I'll be the one to, kumbaga, get you into that door, but I will need you to help yourself, okay? So this is not, actually this training is very like, this is not just me, this is me presiding and doing a little lecture, but a majority of it is you learning on the go. Because that's one thing that a VA must actually be, somebody who learns on their feet and who does things on the go, because clients are like that, okay? So just a little idea as to what you will be learning in the next couple of days. I will be teaching you e-commerce,
Wow,
virtual
e-commerce.
assistant, real estate, virtual assistant, Canva, social media marketing and social media strategy, Facebook ads, email marketing, blogging and monetization, YouTube, vlogging, video editing, automation, lead generation like funnels, voice drops, cold calls, cold emails. I'll give you a great idea as to how you can do these things. Shopify, Amazon FBA, and also website creation and website development with WordPress, okay? So it's very detailed, so please be patient with me, and also please be patient with the activities, because you will never be a VA if you will not be willing to learn. But I do know for a fact that all of you are willing to learn, because not everybody will want to commit with a 15-day training. It's a lot, and it's not just necessary, but it will also help me, I guess, if it's a kitchen tool, we can strain we can strain the bad eggs
Yeah,
to the
it's not
good
easy
eggs.
to learn.
We can sort the bad people from the good people, and that's one thing. If you're looking for,
Marinig kasi nakaano.
we're looking for people who are really hardworking.
Ako lang ha.
Please go unmute the one who's talking. Okay. So, if you're talking to somebody, that's totally fine, but just be on mute, okay? All right. We don't need to hear that. So, for the first day, I will be discussing, a majority of the first day will not be skills, but it will be about virtual assistants. Okay? So, especially for those who don't have the experience. By the way, I want to see raise of hands, those who do not have virtual assistance experience. Raise of hands. Okay, raise of hands. Okay, all right, so there's a lot. Okay, and raise of hands, those who have virtual assistance experience of more than a year. Okay. All right. So for the rest, maybe virtual assistance experience less than a year.
Yes, for me, 3 months only.
Okay. All right. Okay. So the great frontier is really, okay. Somebody's like really noisy in the background. Okay. So what is exactly virtual assistants? I'm going to be explaining this not just for our newbies, but for everybody. Okay. So virtual assistants, as I mentioned before, there was no virtual assistants. We didn't know how to call it. In fact, when my company started, we actually were a writing company. We did SEO work and SEO content for our clients. And because our clients started to rely on us, they started to ask us for assistants, but they just called it assistants and online assistants. Nobody was calling it virtual assistant before, which is a good thing that they made it something because finally we put a word to it. Okay, so what's exactly a virtual assistant? So a virtual assistant is somebody who helps an entrepreneur, most likely a CEO or a business owner, entrepreneur, store owner, e-commerce entrepreneur, blogger, podcaster, whatever it is, somebody who helps an entrepreneur or a creator with business tasks or creative tasks or anything involved with work while doing the work at home or largely online, maybe managed by a company offshore, like in a managed office, or at home. Okay, so why is this a good time to be a virtual assistant? I don't know if you noticed, but so many of the call centers, the huge conglomerates right now, are already dissolving. Has anybody noticed it? In fact, they are estimating that in the next couple of years, the huge shift in home-based and telecommuting is going to be expected. And so there won't be huge offices anymore in outsourcing even. In fact, here in Cebu, companies like Convergys, or not just Cebu, but Convergys was even acquired, right? And they actually got, it's because of the huge shifts. Also like Lexmark, and so many other companies here actually, probably in your place too, right? And I've actually heard about this prediction many years ago when I first started my business, because there was an entrepreneur who talked to me about it. This is the job of the future. In fact, we can expect in the future that huge corporations will be posting their jobs online for people to work at home, because millennials are no longer, millennials, by the way, are us. If you were born between 1979 to 1995, you're a millennial. After that, you are a Gen Z person. And before that, you're Gen X. You're Gen X, yeah. So, or like, I don't think there are baby boomers here. So anyway, millennials, which comprises of the biggest group that is working right now and who are holding jobs right now, and comprising like a huge percentage of the workforce, people are pushing for work-life balance and work-life integration, right? Gone were the days. I mean, you remember our parents? They used to work like in San Miguel for 25 years, something like that. They were like that. They were so loyal. Well, maybe because they were also very loyal to our dads. I don't know. Maybe there's a correlation. The more options there are, the lesser loyal people are. That's just that. And it's not necessarily always a bad thing. It actually pushes people and businesses and entrepreneurs to make their business models better so that it provides great working conditions to people like us, right? And so this is a golden age for all of us to be part of this industry. So who exactly are our customers? Okay, who are our clients? Our clients are, wait, I think we have, give me a little bit of time, huh? Mimi, do you have that file? Like the onboarding file that I used to share before?
Virtual lens?
Yeah.
Let me check.
Can you email it to me? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mimi, by the way, is here.
Hello guys, good afternoon. I am Mimi and I'm Virtual Listings Admin Officer.
Hi, Miss Mimi.
I hope you guys are having the wonderful time and go ahead and try to absorb everything. This will be very helpful for you guys, okay?
Okay.
Alrighty. I'll give the floor to Judee now.
So she's actually just beside me. We had a spa party yesterday for Thanksgiving because I'm very blessed to have really good staff. They're my rock. They're super nice. They're very good at what they do. So I'm gonna be waiting for that file so that I can also like maybe we can I can show it to you as well on the screen, and then we will also like forward that file to you as well. Okay. So I'm gonna be discussing who are our clients and what exactly do they want. Okay. Because you know what's one thing? I think the reason why I can consider myself a success story in the virtual assistant industry. I've earned millions because of virtual assistants. I've built businesses, not just this business. I have a real estate business. I have an e-commerce business. And I think the reason is I really analyzed what our clients want. And mind you, I still have clients who contact me and still want to work with me from the first year that I started. And so I'm going to be sharing to you all these tips because nobody really shares these tips. These are actually even more important than the skills. Because if you have the right attitude, you will always have clients, okay? The right attitude will get you more referrals. And most of all, your clients won't have a reason to fire you, okay? All right, so hang on just a sec. Wait. That the document lang ha. So our clients, I'll just start. So our clients are number one, if we are millennials, or I think most of us are millennials, right? Is that a yes?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
So
yes.
most of our clients are also our age. I've noticed that. Most of
True.
our clients are if I'm 31, I even have clients right now who are like
25.
younger than me, like 22, 23, 25, 30s, 40s. It's a little bit rare to have clients who are already like in their 50s and 60s. So most of our clients are millennials. So what is the manifestation of having a millennial a client who's a millennial? Millennials don't like phone calls, right? Is that a yes? Don't you
Yes.
just hate it if somebody just calls you and not text you in advance? It's annoying,
True.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Not 1995. Nobody's calling our landlines anymore. And so, yeah, and so that's a reality. Our clients do not barge into them and call them at any given time. You must always send them a chat or a text in advance to be polite. Okay. So other implications of this is we always communicate via email.
Yeah.
We're always using the cloud. We're always using Facebook, Messenger, Viber,
Yeah.
WhatsApp,
Insurance.
WeChat, for Chinese and for like Asian. Have you shared it? Yeah, that's the one. Okay, all right, that's the one. Okay, okay. So I'm going to be sharing to you an old file. And I'll do a share screen, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. It's so hot, no? Kumusta namang aircon? You want water? Yeah, I want water. Thank you. Okay. Wait. Okay, there. Yeah, cool. Thank you. Okay, do you see it?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
This is just an old file. This is actually an onboarding file that we have. Our
Okay.
business name used to be Virtual Amps, but we changed it to Virtual Lasting because it's more feng shui. I believe in it. Okay. So who are our clients? A lot of them are startup founders. Okay. A lot of them are millennials. A lot of them are first-time bosses. A lot of them are first-time entrepreneurs. And a lot of them are first-timers in telecommuting. So what does it mean? It means that I'm going to be asking you to be patient. Okay? I need you to be patient with our clients.
Yes.
I mean, I know that you've already worked in huge corporations, but I have seen a lot of VAs who have no empathy with their clients in a way like, he doesn't know how to manage me. Duh. Of course he doesn't, because he's a newbie. And so I don't want you to be approaching your clients and thinking and having this parang entitlement na, I will quit my job because my client doesn't know how to manage me. You know what? It's not going to be a problem if you know how to manage your client. Okay? I have gone through clients who are difficult at first, but if you know how to relate to people, eventually they turn a good leaf. But we also try our very best here at Virtual Lasting to teach our clients. So I don't want people to be like, ayoko ng client na yon kasi hindi siya marunong mag-manage. Precisely. Do you know how to manage your client? Diba? Do you know how to virtual assistant? Diba? Because essentially, if it's all about service and it's all about being willing to render your help to people who need it. So part of it is dealing with difficult people. Although I draw the line from racists because I have no tolerance for racists. In fact, the very first client that we had for the agency, it was such a flop and a fail because my virtual assistant, I did not know that he was being verbally abused by the client who was so racist until one day the virtual assistant from our company deleted 6 of his websites. Nag-revenge siya. So, ayun. So, I would like you to also, if for example, you will be working with us, make sure to tell us if your client is being mean. Okay? Don't be mean back, but make sure to tell us so that we can communicate it properly to them. But if, let's say, for instance, you were not working with us, how do you deal with difficult clients, right?
Patience.
You have to be number one, patient. Number two, you must be professional. Even if they're so unprofessional, you reach out with finesse, with grace, and with respect. Because I always believe that respect begets respect. If you respect your client, even in the face of adversity and like annoying annoying habits of your client, you just reach out, be professional, reach out in a good way, or set your boundaries also. It's not beyond like in my end, there are clients like for example who are like in my end, especially I'm the one who's like billing clients. There are clients who would be like, let's say you already like agreed on a rate and then they will back out from that. I'm the one who always tells the client like, we did not agree with this. Please make a payment on this or we will have to cut off the service. Just like Meralco. I don't care. So it's like that. And also respect yourself because that's the way that abusers, and mind you, I know that you've had bosses who are abusive, right? So set a boundary. Like, for example, I will not tolerate being treated like a second rate copycat. I will not be I will not be I will not be tolerating bad behavior towards me. I will not be tolerating like clients who don't pay. I will not be tolerating clients who don't keep their word about deadlines, which make me miss my deadlines, right? So you just communicate properly, but um, also know how to draw the line where it ends. Okay. Um, what else? So first time entrepreneurs, I'm also gonna tell you this. The first year or even the first 5 years of entrepreneurship is literal hell on earth. Okay. So I hope you have the empathy for clients because they're not perfect, guys. Aside from the fact that they were also employees like you before, starting an entrepreneurial journey is not a walk in the park. Personally, as an entrepreneur, it's one of the worst like experiences, but also probably the best. But I've I've gone through bankruptcy, I've lost millions, I've lost friends, I've made a lot of enemies, I've been sued, I've been to court, I've had death threats. What else? What else is there? And so let me tell you, please have empathy towards your client, because it's not easy. It's not easy to be um it's not easy to try to change the world. I mean, obviously some people are not out there to change the world with their businesses, but in some way, if their business provides jobs and tries to help other people, it's not easy to be that person. It's much easier to be the employee who receives the job, and because in my end, I've actually had a call center before. Even I've had more than 100 employees, and when your business is new and it has not yet like broken even, 15th and 30th, nangangamba na ako, like, oh my god, this is the worst day again, and having to shell out like 500,000 or like 1 million every salary is hell on earth, especially if your business is not yet running or not yet earning any money. So you have to have some empathy towards our clients. I bet you nobody has told you that, right? Because it's not easy. So maybe you would now understand, if for those of you who have like VA experience, some of them parang my attitude, parang they're like micromanaging because they're over analyzing, because every dollar counts when you're working.
It's true.
I'm not saying that micromanaging is good. I even teach my clients how to make sure that how to delegate in a way that they're not micromanaging. But I wanted you to understand why clients have these attitude problems, okay? Because it's not easy. Maybe it's already like the last $20 in their bank account. We never know. And they're really like trying to hit that sales goal. And then there you are watching Netflix, right? I'm not scolding you, huh? But this has happened so many times. And so I wanted you to understand, even before the skills that I will teach you, because this is what matters the most. That empathy na, my client is trying to, because you know what? If your client is abundant, if your client has a lot of money, hindi ka rin mahihirapan. Definitely. They're the more abundant your client becomes, the more your life becomes easy.
Easy.
The more the work becomes easy, because your client is no longer going to be pinching the pennies. They're not going to be like, what were you doing in the past 5.30 seconds? So make sure that when you start off work, you start with a bang, and you don't just try to deliver what is needed. You have to strive to impress. You have to strive to wow. You have to strive to give so much more value than what they're giving, so that in the future you will not have an issue. And that's how you really keep your clients. Because if you're wondering, I always wonder actually, why do VAs always lose their clients? I am so weirded out with that, to be honest, because I've had so many long-term clients. But then it's an observation, because I have a VA agency, obviously. And I'm like, what the hell are they doing? And it's because of these shortcuts. Like, for example, let's say you have a task And then it's an easy task. So you will say, I'll just go clubbing muna. And then I'll just go back to it in the morning. Something like that. And then it turns out that your client was already waiting for it. And then you pass out on the couch because you were drunk. And you wake up, it's already the next day at nighttime. And they already said,
Procrastination.
yes, procrastination. That's the disease that afflicts probably all of us. Even me, it's my worst habit. So I will even be teaching you some time management techniques and techniques that you will be doing, because can you imagine just 15 days and I will ask you to create a website, to create graphics, to create like so many other things. So handa kayo. So I will also teach you that, okay? All right. Next is, what are clients looking for in their VA? They're looking for, wait lang ha, share screen muna ako. Clients are looking for reliability, enthusiasm in the job, someone who will go above and beyond, someone who is willing to learn every day, okay? Open for communication. So what does this mean? It means that if it's your shift, then it will take you 0 seconds to reply, okay? I'm not exaggerating, but don't you think it's annoying if, like, for example, let's say you're the one paying your client. Lagay lang natin dyan, ha? Like, what if you're the one who's paying your client? You're paying the client, let's say, $3 per hour, and then it takes him 3 hours to reply. Di ba annoying? Na-lose mo na yung $9. Okay ka ba yan? Okay ka ba, Chan? I'm sorry, guys. I'm not very good with Tagalog. I'm Cebuana. So anyway, does it make sense, right?
Yes.
So I'm not trying to be like parang unrealistic, but I want you to understand why some of the clients parang mag-beast mode, like, oh, what took you so long? Parang ganon. And a lot of them, mind you, they come to us and say, I want to replace Genevieve. I want to replace Evangeline, whatever, because he did not reply, Sherva, Nana, ganon. They didn't, like, she did not reply after 1 hour. I only got a K. Something like that. So that's what I mean by open for communication. You have to be in agreement as to where you're supposed to communicate. And if your client is not answering you, make sure you're the one bothering the client. In fact, I had my executive assistants since 2014. I've taught them to wake me up instead of me looking for them, right, Mimi?
Yes.
Mimi is so amazing at this. She's the one who communicates to me first. So do not ever wait for your client to say, Chona, are you there? Or Rhea, are you there? Or Beverly, are you online? Do not ever wait, because the moment that happens, you're already too late. Okay? Make sure, those are just my expert tips, guys, ha? These are my like ninja top tricks. And I'm not kidding, like this really works. I bet you nobody teaches this, but this is really what works. And
Totoo
your
yan.
clients will
Totoo.
appreciate it. Like, wow, ang galing niya. Even if you just said hi, right? It makes such a difference. Always like be the person who would say, hey, Matt, how are you doing? How was your weekend? And make sure that even if your shift is 9 p.m., you greeted them like at least 8:50. Diba?
A
I
minute
know.
before.
Anyway, we don't have to ride the jeep to go to the office, right? You just have to reply, give a chat on Facebook or WhatsApp, right? It's
Yes.
so easy. So, wala namang mawala sa atin. And then, for example, let's say your task, you're already like, what if no, your client already just told you to do something so easy that only just really took like an hour, and your shift is 8 hours. I don't want to hear Hannah like you will just go offline and sleep. Because no, that's not the point. Make sure that you ask your client, is there anything else that I can help you with?
Yeah.
This is actually very parang this is I know that it sounds very what's this? Common sense, but this is such like so many of our VAs
Important.
fail the trial with their client because nag-ghost sila after their first task. Diba? So many to mention. So, it's a waste of our time. Mas mabuti pa na we gave the job to another person. Diba? And then, many times, malose pa yung client. Like, parang nag-give up na lang sila. Punta lang na lang sila sa Upwork. Tapos, balik na naman sila kasi fail ang Upwork. Ganun. So, yun. So,
Vice versa.
yeah. So, what else? Okay. Let's go back. Clients need you to be, yeah, again, easy to contact, cheerful and smiling. You wouldn't believe it, but some people feeling nila it's cool to be like frowning all the time. It's not cool, guys. You don't look good. It's not a good look. Smile and always be like, that person who's positive. Okay? They want somebody who is courteous, polite. Okay? Don't be so feeling close na you would say impolite things and curse in front of your boss. Please don't do that, okay? Unless if like you truly were close, but then like as much as possible don't, okay? And then be honest, Like today, yesterday I just found out that one of our employees was using our Time Doctor tracker in malicious ways and using like a software to make sure that because we have time tracking, by the way, online always has some time tracking. And unfortunately, Time Doctor was able to identify that there was like suspicious activity. So I found out last week. I'll probably fire that person this week because I hate people who are dishonest. And in the same way, so many clients are like that. Yes. Even like letting your boyfriend access the account of your client kasi nasa club ka pa or nasa gym ka pa or things like that. Don't do that, okay? That's sensitive information. Please be professional. Because that has happened, really. Like a VA who was working for that client for 6 months lost the job because nag out of town siya and then asked the client asked her boyfriend to access the seller account of the client. And then the client found out kasi may IP address, obviously, right? So in this day and age, don't ever think that you will not be caught. And I don't think that this is something that we actually need to teach. Just be an overall honest person and you will go far. Because in my end, I did not go far in this business by stealing clients. In fact, I've never stolen a client from a business partner. I've never gone underground para mangsulot ng mga VA at clients. And it has really benefited me because my business continues to grow and we are almost going to surpass our 10-year mark, which is a huge deal. In business, it's very rare to reach 10 years. Okay, so next is accountable. What is accountability? Being accountable means owning your job and making sure that you don't blame others if hindi mo nagawa. Like for example, let's say you're supposed to create a report, but then because if you're not accountable, you would say, hindi ko nagawa yung report ko because hindi binayaran ng nanay ko ang bill ng kuryente. We don't care, okay? And your client doesn't. Or like recently, oh my God, like last week we had a VA who was on trial and she couldn't, like imagine trial work that we do is paid. My company invests in it. Our clients do not pay us yet, but I pay and my company pays for it, for the trial. So she is paid hourly, but then hindi daw siya makasipot sa trial day number 3 kasi na hindi niya nabayaran yung bill niya sa internet. Right? It doesn't make sense. If mag-online work ka, alangan naman I will pay for it, right?
Pag
It's your responsibility.
Pag VA ka eh.
Diba? So,
Hindi
be
pwedeng wala ka
accountable for
internet eh.
that. Yes. And for example, if for example, guys, what if it really happens? Alam mo ba na it has happened to me. I was already like a negosyante and then I am not the best person to keep track of my bills. That's the reason why I have somebody who pays my bills for me. My assistant does it or my mom does it until now kasi if hindi talaga, madi-disconnect talaga ako kasi I'm so forgetful. Di ba, Biatch? I'm so forgetful. So yun, alam mo, I tried that na I thought nag-brown out. Yung bahay lang pala namin ang nag-brown out. And then I had a client call. 3 client calls and so embarrassing, right? So what did I do? Obviously, kasi next day pa yung kasi na-disconnect talaga kami. That happened to me like I think back in 2013. So embarrassing. But then what happened was I ran to the nearest hotel lobby that had stable internet and I did my conference calls. There was no reason, really, no reason to stop me from making sure that I show up to my clients. Unless, of course, if you are sick, legitimately sick, ha, di lang yung pasiksik or sick kasi you were drunk or something, or like sick because may ka-date ka and then your boylet came by, parang ganun.
Pagkawan nyo.
Diba? Aminin nyo na lang, guys, that has happened. It has happened. I mean, in my end, I also have lost so many clients. Because, diba, I started the home-based thing like I was very young. I was, I think, 21, 22. Yeah, 21. And then, parang nalulong pa ako sa boyfriend. Parang I was so caught up pa with my boyfriend. So, babe, mag-ano na lang tayo, mag-movie tayo. Sige, it's okay. Tapos sasabihin ko sa client na I'm sick. You know, at one point, nagburakay pa ako and then when I went back, I lost all of my clients. So yun, jobless for 2 months. Parang ganun. So diba? So, mind you, you don't have to be absent. In fact, even while I'm traveling, I travel a lot. By the way, in the last 10 to 15 days of our training, I will be traveling because I have like business meetings, and I'll be buying like I'll be purchasing stocks for my e-commerce. Yeah,
Question, ma'am.
yeah.
Sorry, ma'am. What if pala, kunyari, may plan kang pumunta ng US?
Okay. If my plan ka, okay, that's my answer. So let's say, for example, you have a plan to go to the US or actually anywhere. Like mag-vacation ka sa Korea, mag-vacation ka sa next na bayan or whatever. Internet is everywhere. You just bring your laptop, you can still work. If it's really impossible to work, like let's say for instance, you know that you will not be able to commit to the work, be upfront about it and tell your, let's say if you're under us, you tell us like, Miss Judy, I cannot work. I will not be able to work for an entire month. I will not be able to work for an entire week, something like that. You say in advance so that maka-find ng reliable or somebody who will replace you. Or, yeah, what's your question?
Tapos, ma'am, kunyari, plan ka pumunta ng US, then, pwede bang i-adjust, kunyari, yung pasok ng time mo na i-match sa US time or sa Philippine time? Or sa kung ano yung oras na nakasanayan mo?
It depends on the nature of your client's business. The most important consideration is your client. If your client wants you to be in that particular shift, you have to be at that shift. However, if the client is more flexible, you can always talk about it. You just have to be honest and you have to be upfront about it, and manguna ka kaysa they will find out na, uy, why is Jared not online all the time? And then mag-wait ka pa, and then your client has to like probe until they find out that you're in the US, you know, and then most of the time when that happens, they will be like so turned off. They usually would contact me to say, Judy, I need to replace Jared. You have profiles there. Okay, I'll just hire Marissa, something like that. You don't want that to happen, right? So just be upfront. Like for example, obviously you'll be informed ahead of time when you will be going to your trip. So as soon as you know that you'll be traveling, then you inform in advance. Like for example, Joy, our HR manager, she's gonna be in Korea next week. She informed me months before. Okay, so it's not gonna be a problem because I already know, right? So your clients, they're people too. They will understand, but don't be abusive also. Make sure that they are able to prepare for your pending trips. Because you know what? Even if, you know what, if you are absent, their business doesn't stop. Okay? So you just have to be very considerate. Like, what happens when I'm not there? Because unlike the call centers wherein we're just a seat filler, and if we're absent, there are like 1,000 more people who replace us. With virtual work, nobody replaces us. Unless, of course, if you have like a huge team. Even with huge teams, you have a specific set of tasks and somebody really has to fill it up. So be considerate. Like, just think about it. If you're the only virtual assistant and you're the one managing the e-commerce store of your client, if you're absent for an entire week, what will happen to the store, right? So that's just how it is. Just be upfront. Just ask permission. Okay. Next, hang on. Share screen. Okay. We'll find ways to make things happen. What does this mean? let's say for instance, this has happened. I have witnessed this so many times, For example, a client will say, do you know WordPress? I really need somebody who will edit my WordPress like website. And then you know what? What's the wrong answer? The wrong answer will be, I don't know how to do it. Just find somebody else to do it. That's wrong because you can always Google it.
I'll
But
try.
be upfront and say, I don't know how to do it, but I will find out how to do it. And then you follow up with saying, I found out that this is what I will do. These are my steps. Are you okay if I proceed with the task? Right? Don't be that person like, I don't know. I cannot count how many people I have hired and eventually fired when they would say, ayoko kasi hindi ko yan alam. Parang ganun. I even used to have like a catering and canteen business, and I cannot forget this, but I had this worker that I told na, uy, maghugas ka ng plato. Tapos sabi niya, ayoko ma'am kasi
Hindi ako marunong.
kasi hindi ko marunong daw. Wow! No? So I was like, oh my God. Ikaw na lang ang magsweldo sa akin. So yun. So don't be that person. Find out. Okay? My Google naman. My YouTube. Everything can be YouTube. You can also ask us. You have Mimi, you have Joy. If magka-problem ka with something, reach out. We are willing to help. We're here. Even me, I'm willing to help. Okay? Kasi the worst thing, and also, most of all, reach out to your client and even ask. Like, for example, may ipapagawa siya and then you don't know it. Also, don't be feeling expert. Okay? Kasi baka you can damage something. So always be upfront and say, I don't know how to do it. Would you have time to teach me? Diba? And most often than not, clients are very willing to teach. Okay? Because anyway, if you'll be doing that a lot, then they better, invest on teaching you. Okay? All right. And then next, good listener. Okay? And then follows instructions. So guys, OMG. So many times, ang dami-daming mga tao na they lose their online job or their client kasi not following instructions. Para lang yung exam, guys. You fail kasi not following instructions. Kasi when you receive an email, you read it thoroughly, and then it would also be a good idea if you're talking to the client, did I get this correctly? This is what I'm going to do. And then you recap. Okay, that's really good. To make sure that you're on the right track. Because nothing is so wasteful than to realize that you spent an entire week on an activity. And then, let me plug this. And then it's all wrong pala. Right? Okay. So let's proceed to the next part, which is what do clients hate? Okay, number 1, unreliable people. 2, always late to work or absent. 3, procrastinator. This is so common. I'm even such a huge procrastinator. I'm not proud of it, but I'm gonna show you a really amazing hack later. It's amazing. It will change your life. You better thank me for it. But you will love it. It will change your life literally, and you will be able to do so many things in one day, one moment, one sitting. And it will also help you combat procrastination. What else do clients hate? Does not submit things on time. Number 5, grumbling and also mumbling or has a lot of hesitations. 6, VAs who cut corners in their tasks that affect work quality. 7, always has excuses about everything. We all know somebody who always has an excuse. Ay, wala kaming internet. Ay, nag-break kami ng boyfriend ko kaya hindi ko makayanan yung work ko today. Ay, nag-away kami ni mama. Pinalayas ako ng landlady ko. Ang dami. Okay? Difficult to contact. Does not answer calls, Skype messages, and emails immediately. These are the things, by the way, that get you fired, okay? 10, rude to the boss and his customers. 11, dishonest. 12, goes against rules, regulations, and contracts. Disloyal, always late in submitting work. I said that twice. Always blaming others for failures in the job. I'm going to give you like a short example. We had a team of VAs for one client. That client had a couple of VAs, and one of them was always blaming others for the mistakes or like for not being able to commit. Like, for example, you would say, her name is Vanessa, and she would say, oh, it's because Jason did not submit it, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? What happened, guys? The client got so fed up that she fired the entire team just because of that person. Can you imagine? I was so pissed off, to be honest. And I'm like, I hate you all. Okay. So in that same like direction, if you're with a team of VAs, please help each other. Huwag kayo mag-awayan, okay? Because more than ever, we have to help each other keep our jobs. Because you know what? They can always say, I'm not going to proceed next month. And where na tayo kukuha ng pangbigas at pang tuition, right? So we have to help each other. This, I will help you, definitely. Ipaglaban ko kayo. But you have to help yourself. You have to help your teammates. Huwag kayo mag-push each other. Because I have seen this so many times. I have friends also who are VAs, not in my company. And then, mag-aawayan sila sa mga teammates nila. You've heard of this, right? Yung parang, ay kasi ako, Tagalog ako, siya Bisaya, and then they have a feud of some sort. Like, who cares? Is this Magellan and Lapu-Lapu and like Andres Bonifacio and Emilio Aguinaldo? No. We have to help each other because pareho-pareho tayong magugutom if wala tayong trabaho, right? And it has happened. Like, maybe that girl thought na nagsisip-sip lang siya sa client, and then ang ending, sila tanan. All of them. Oh my God. Nabisaya na naman ako. Okay. And then, next. Hang on. Next is, will give up at every opportunity to avoid work. Like, for example, let's say unstable yung internet. That's why it's so important to have backup internet. In my case, I have both Globe and PLDT, and I even have like the DSL, the fiber. I have 50 Mbps, and I think the other one is 100. And then I also even have the prepaid Wi-Fi. So for emergency purposes, I always have internet, right? I'm not saying that you will spend that much like me, but in some way, please find a way, okay? Don't give up at every opportunity para maka-absent and para maka-Netflix and chill, please. Okay, and then avoiding the client when the job is not done yet and does not give updates. Is this familiar? Isn't this familiar? Raise your hand if you have done this before. Na parang you're embarrassed na to. Anyway, I know that maybe you won't admit it, but I have done this. Like, parang I'm so embarrassed na natulog lang ako the whole day. Tapos, the client will contact na, hey, Judee, where is the report on blah, 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 something. And then, I would say, oh my God, hindi ko pa isisin yung message, pero nakita ko na. Tapos, I will avoid the client. Tapos, the client is always calling, Judee, where are you? I'm about to go to... So, you know, please, if anything, be upfront. Okay? Don't avoid. Because, and as much as possible, do not let it happen. It's a really annoying feeling. It's a very parang, ewan ko, cringe-worthy. Parang creepy. I don't know. Like, parang nakikilabutan ako whenever that happens because I'm always like, OMG, what will I say that doesn't sound so cliche?
Parang inano ka ng konsensya mo.
Yes! Nabagabag ka ng konsensya mo and, you know, as much as possible, you know, let's avoid that because if it happens every week, it doesn't sound believable anymore, okay? Next is always complaining, okay? And then, so like for example, maybe, I don't know, there are people who complain for fun. Like let's say if they're in an event and then someone will say, oh, how was it? And then they will say, ewan ko, ang daming mga pangit. Yung mga ganun. So, wala lang. Ang dami pa rin mga pangit doon at mga baduy at mga hampas lupa. Like, especially people who follow Senora Santibanez. Like me. But guys, you know, in the workplace setting, don't be that person. Okay? Always lead with positivity. Always lead with, it was good. I learned something. You know, if it wasn't a good experience, maybe you can find a silver lining, but you know, you can say something honest like it wasn't such a good production, but I don't know what happened. Maybe they were not prepared. Than to say, ang pangit ng event, they're so they're losers, something like that. Don't be so parang ganun, okay? And then backstabbing, gossiping about workers, your boss, etc. So that was the same story about that girl who was like gossiping and parang blaming others. You know, that's a good example that you could all get fired for that. Okay. So now I'm going to proceed with discussing about managing your time. Okay? This is kind of a boring day because I will start with these things first before the skills, okay? But let's learn so that at least let's just get it out of the way, okay? Because I want to teach this first and foremost, then last part, because I will be asking you to do a lot of tasks within the next couple of weeks. And might as well, you can learn from it. If you are a former procrastinator, this is the time to change your ways and go back to the Lord. I mean, okay, if you're like a former, I don't know, lazy person, by the way, my vlog is called Lazy Boss Club, which is funny, but you know, because I'm always about shortcuts and automation, but if you have that disease of being lazy and not waking up on time and late, forgive yourself and turn a new leaf I tell you, I've been a latecomer my entire life. And when I became an entrepreneur, I kept losing a lot of business contacts, even investors, because of my bad habits. I really learned the hard way. And now I'm like a stickler for time. And, you know, if you branded yourself as a latecomer or a late person, stop it. You can always change. You can always change and really like program yourself to say, I am not a latecomer. You can say, I'm an early bird. I'm somebody who makes my tasks on the day and submits it. Because if if I had like continued my entire personal narrative of being that girl who's always late in submitting my requirements in school and always being the last person to complete my clearance, I'm never going to be an entrepreneur, right? And that's what separates the people who succeed and the people who never get anywhere, right? There's so many brilliant minds, so many people who are achieving, let's say, and being recognized as like a genius. But people, you cannot really monetize your genius. You cannot get, I don't know, you cannot be a millionaire because you're a genius, but you can be a millionaire if you're hardworking, or if you're a genius and you used it like in a very smart way, by being professional, by being a doer. Okay. So to put it simply, to be truly honest, I don't care if you're smart or not. Are you a doer? Okay. Because your IQ doesn't hold any water to your clients. Are you going to do your task? Okay. So I have some time management tricks to teach you before we proceed with um, the first skill that we will be learning today. Okay. So who here has who here is familiar with the Pomodoro technique? I want to see like your video. I want to see your video. And I want to see a raise of hands who knows the Pomodoro technique. Anybody? Okay, I see one. Michelle. Who else?
It is my first time.
Okay, your first time. Okay. All right. So I'm not proud of this because, you know, when I was in grade school and also in high school, I had the award of most late person. I'm not proud of it. I was terminated on my first job because of my absences and late. And maybe it's my karma that now I'm the boss and I have employees who are late and absent and they grind my gears. I'm like, oh my God, this is my karma. But I never really quite understood that. Like before, I was like, as long as I'm doing my job, I can be late. And you know, it's not. It's not true at all. Because punctuality is a sign of respect. It means that you respect the time of others, and it means that you respect your job, you respect your company, and that you are professional. It also, like for example, every time I assess people, mind you, I have hired so many people. Probably we've interviewed in my company like thousands of people. And I can like assess people in this. And one indication is on the agreed time, are they on time or not? We even have that in our form. Are they on time or not? No, they're not on time. That already puts them in a very low spot during the hiring process. Why? It's because it can be an indicator of people who are unreliable, who are forgetful, who are not serious, and who are not eager for the job, right? You don't want to be like, what if you really were eager, but then, of course, you all have the excuse. Like in my case, my excuse is I did not wake up to my alarm. Always. Okay. In fact, every day, even until now, I have like 5 alarms. And then I don't know why, but I still go back to sleep. So, you know, that's so relatable, right? So, um, make sure that you do the inner work to fight off, those demons inside you, making you late. Like, for example, walang tubig, char. E di collect ka ng water in advance, right? Or, kasi maingay yung neighbor, e di sapakin mo siya. Maybe you can transfer homes. Or maybe you can do some soundproofing. Maybe you can learn some meditation so that you can sleep early. There's so many things. In my end, I have an issue about like light. I cannot sleep properly if there's no light. If there's a little bit of light, like even like the beneath the door, para akong mag-overanalyze. So you know what? Nag-invest pa ako ng maraming mga curtains, like the really expensive ones, like this. And you know what? Ang solution lang pala is really just the mask. So stupid, right? Kasi ang dami kong excuse. And then like the noise, And then the solution is I made sure that I can be rich enough or to have money enough to move out of my home so that I don't have to listen to like the nagging of my, let's say, neighbor or the fighting of our neighbor na yung mister niya na late, na may kabit, yung mga ganun. I made sure of that. I made sure I used to live in a neighborhood that had a lot of like not very glamorous neighbors, and there was always like video on. And you know what? When that happened, it did not stop me from trying very hard until I could afford to buy a home and to transfer to a subdivision that was literally very silent. And you can do that, guys. It's up to us. We can change our reality. You just have to be like, you just have to deal with it until you can find a solution. Okay? All right. So now going back to the Pomodoro technique. This is the biggest like game changer of my life. Like literally, if you will just be in the room with me, you're going to find out that I'm not really a superwoman. Even if I have so many businesses, so many people would be like, how did you manage having so many businesses, having so many teams, like doing all these things and then still exercising and still like having a pet and, traveling? How do you do it? And you know what? I always think about Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian has so many things, right, going on. Kylie Jenner. And they have the same 24 hours that we have, right? So what are we doing with our lives? Exactly. And so I found out that it's really about how we manage our time and how we focus on the things that we do. And let me just start with saying that multitasking is a load of BS. What do I mean by that? Multitasking is, let's say I have a task here with a client, and then I have also another client, and I'm talking to both of them. Do I have 2 brains? No, I don't have 2 brains. In fact, if you really want to be successful at what you do, you have to be honest with how much time you really have, and you just stick to it. Okay? Don't overload yourself. If you only have 24 hours, don't fill up your 24 hours with 24 clients. Don't, because of course, obviously, you have to give yourself time to sleep. You have to give yourself time to like, have breakfast and things like that. Don't overload your plates, and be very honest as to what you can put into your schedule. If, let's say, for instance, you want to work on a full-time basis, don't start out with having 4 clients with 4 hours each. Try out having just 1 client at 4 hours. And if you can do it and have more, then that's the time that you add more. Okay? Don't overload yourself. There's so many people who start off with their home-based journey and trying to get ahead of themselves. And then in the end, they lose all of their clients, right? Because they overload. Don't be a hero. I don't know what to call that. Next is use a calendar. I personally use Google Calendar, and if you haven't used that, it's just connected to your Gmail. It's really easy to use. And let's say, for example, if you have deadlines with your client, make sure to put them there. Okay? And be in that habit. Because the more that you're in that habit, you just be honest. I can't even remember the breakfast that I had 3 days ago. Obviously, you're going to forget if your client had, instructions and deadlines. You can't just keep them there, right? You have to rely on something tangible. So always be in the habit of recording. And there are things that there are what we call like time blocking, okay, time batching, wherein you can group your tasks and put them like you do like a calendar block. Like, for example, have you noticed that when you do your laundry, you batch them, right? Mga puti, mga decolor, right? You can also batch your tasks. Let's say all your creative graphic design tasks, you batch them into one so that you will not be toggling here and there, back and forth with different mindsets. Because if you are going to be, let's say, for example, I'm going to start with making a logo, and then 10 minutes after, I will write an article, and then I will go back to making 3 different logos again. Obviously, I'm not going to be effective, because even the time that you transition from one task to the other takes time. Okay? Our brain doesn't work on like lightning speeds. Even if we're really smart, but it's not like, diba, have you noticed that we need, parang, sometimes when we're in between tasks, you would always find an excuse to say, oh, let me just get some coffee, right? Or, let me get some water or something. Because we need a time to parang shift. So, batch it, okay? And what is exactly the Pomodoro technique? This has worked for me so well that, in fact, I was able to create 5 websites from scratch, including including like literally everything in that website, the pictures, the articles, the content and everything, and like setting it up in just a week. So can you imagine? And a lot of people create their websites in like a month or like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So I was able to make 5. And this is also how I create my business plans, and how I really like, let's say, for example, I delegate tasks in advance to my employees. I make sure that it's on timer. So what is exactly the Pomodoro technique? I'm going to show you my favorite tool. Can you see it? They're seeing it, right? Okay. So This is a kitchen timer. I'm not gonna like require you to buy a kitchen timer, but this kitchen timer, I bought this in Shopee, I believe, for I think 300. And this is so cool because this is not a promotional video. This is not a sponsored video. But why is it so perfect for my for the things that I do? So let's say, for instance, and mind you guys, you can use this in any area of your life, not just your work. Okay, let's say for example, I plan to wash my dishes. Let's say there was just a party. Obviously, there was just a party yesterday, and then I'm gonna be washing the dishes. Knowing myself as a procrastinator for the past 30 years of my life, if I'm gonna say I'm gonna wash the dishes at 10 a.m., by 10 p.m. the dishes are not yet washed. Okay? I'm just gonna look at them and then, like, I don't know, imagine that they will be done by the ferry. But then with this, I'm able to like set a timer. So like for example, I write my tasks in advance. Let's say number 1, wash dishes. Number 2, load laundry. Number 3, hang laundry. Number 4, write the report. Number 5, bill clients. Number 6, something like that. I do them one by one. I'm not gonna multitask. I'm not gonna skip. I'm gonna start from the very beginning, okay? And I will not be able to graduate to the next task if I don't finish it. And then I set time. So for example, wash dishes. Maybe I can just do it in 5 minutes. Okay, timer starts now. Okay, so it's time. So I will try to beat the time, and I will trick myself that I can just do it in 5 minutes. And let me tell you, I can do it in 5 minutes. But if I also put the timer in 15 minutes, I can also do it in 15 minutes. If I put the timer in 30 minutes, I can also do it in 30 minutes or 1 hour. I will just watch YouTube and, do that and then do that. Wash the dishes, look at myself in the mirror, or talk on the phone, send messages on my phone, right? So many of our tasks are actually because we are on Facebook Messenger all the time. One of the golden moments of my productivity was when I uninstalled Facebook, Instagram, and Facebook Messenger on my phone. It was amazing. I earned so much money because I was not concerning myself with the Barreto sisters or the Tulfo or something like that. No. I was no longer like engaging in these useless chatter and like messaging so many comments on Rappler or something like that. We have so much helpful use of our time, and we might as well focus on the things that grow us. Okay, so you can do that. Let's say, for example, your client is going to ask you to do a task. Let's say he wants you to find 100 contacts in a particular area, like 100 doctors in New York, something like that. Okay. Now, I've really noticed this, guys. I've noticed that so many people who I haven't taught this, they will just, like, let's say, for instance, after an entire day, they've only just had 20. So are we trying to say that we're just having 2 to 3 doctors in 1 hour if you had 8 hours? It's embarrassing, right? Because we can totally do more. There are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So don't give me just 2 doctors in 1 hour or 3 doctors in 1 hour, right? Right, because probably you have your Netflix going on, watching Friends, How I Met Your Mother, or whatever, Lucifer, I don't know. It's totally fine actually, but I've noticed that with tasks that really need your concentration, if you want some stimulation, it helps if you have music lang na walang words. Because for me, music na may words, parang nagsising along na ako. Mga nagko-concert din ako, and then, I don't notice the time. So, try that. You can actually like watch TV and stuff like that if you're doing something that doesn't really use your brain. Some people would digress and they would say, I can still do it naman. I'm really smart. No. You're not giving your whole capacity to your task, and that's why you can only do 2 contacts in an hour. Okay? Let's just face it. But if you really dedicate like using your brain power in the full capacity, I bet you that you can do 100 in even 2 hours, 300 in even a half day, something like that. And you know what? That's gonna be our first activity, because this is so common. This is so common because clients are always asking us to do lead generation and data mining. Who here has tried lead generation and data mining? Raise your hand.
What's data mining, ma'am?
Okay.
Data mining.
Okay, so I will explain. Data mining is when, parang siyang, it sounds so complicated, right? Parang, where do you like dig for data?
Google.
I used to be like, what the hell is lead generation and data mining? So lead generation, let me just explain. Lead generation, what is exactly a lead? A lead is somebody who can potentially be a customer to a company, right? So a lead can be the one who is contacted by the closer in your company so that they will buy the products of your company. So let's say, for instance, your client is a digital marketing agency. So what kind of leads are you going to be looking for? People who will need a digital marketing agency. Okay? So you're going to ask yourself, what kind of people will I be looking for? Will I be talking to janitors? No. Will I be talking to, what else? Will I be talking to security guards? No. I will be talking to business owners, right? I will be talking to people who are influencers, who want to have more reach, or people who are not yet so famous, but they want to be famous. People who need, let's say, for instance, people who want to promote their products, right? You're not going to approach somebody who is a couch potato, right? And just list them down as a lead X, okay? So lead generation is looking for people who will be potential customers so that when you pass them on to your client will close the deal, or you have a separate team to have a closer, or like closing sales team. Maybe they will call, maybe they will send a message, maybe they will send a proposal. Okay, so how exactly do you do it? Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example, and this is going to be our first activity because it will help me see if you practice this skill and the time management thing that we'll be doing, and it's also a lead generation technique. Okay, and this is super duper common that it happens on all of our trials. So I want you to be like the best at it. Okay, not really the best, but your best. Okay, and I'm going to give you a sample of how to do a lead generation thingy for those who do not know. Okay. So let me share my screen. Let's say for instance, okay, let's say for instance, the task of your client is to look for pharmaceutical companies in New York. Okay? So let's try to do it. So the first thing to do is to create a spreadsheet. Okay? It's always going to be in a spreadsheet, guys. Okay, so farm. Okay, create. Okay. Papuya. So this is an example, huh? So first off, you start with a spreadsheet. Sorry guys, oh my god. I'm the worst. This is not a spreadsheet. I'm so dumb. Sorry. What's wrong with me? Maybe because I am always delegating my tasks. Huh? Okay. My God, what's happening to me? Am I really qualified to teach this? Okay.
Okay lang kailangan yan, ma'am.
Totoo. My bed is calling me, to be honest. You know why I'm actually doing this at this time? If you're wondering why I'm doing this at this time,
Para makatulog agad.
no, actually, I want to make sure that you are willing to be on graveyard shift. It's not that all of the clients, it's not that clients are all on graveyard shift, but so many of them. And I want you to be, I want to be used to managing yourself and being responsible at this time and not trying to sneak off. It's like a practice because so many of our VAs actually like commit to a client and then they will sleep and then they will wake up the next day. And then their client is already looking for it, for the task. Okay? All right. So let's go back. Let's go back to the spreadsheet. Okay. So what do you do? It's so easy, guys. You just really have to Google it. Hang on. So you just search pharmaceutical companies in New York. Okay? And then this one. So let's say this one. So you just copy. Let's say company name. Contact number. Email address. Website. Office address. Then you copy paste, right? It's so easy. So we just do that. This is what we call data mining, guys. Ay, shoot. Okay. This sounds very simple and like, why is she teaching this? But I want you to master this because it's usually in the trial, and also it's usually a good indicator if you are willing to do boring tasks. You know why? Because so many of the tasks as a VA is freaking boring. I'm not even kidding. And if you can't do the boring tasks, then you can't be a VA. Don't be a VA because you can't choose your tasks. Okay? Okay. Let's say website.
That's what's called data mining, ma'am, right?
Yes, this is what you call data mining.
Getting information by other companies.
Yes. Okay, and then to find out what's their email, so contact us. So you're just gonna, it's so easy, guys. You just have to search. I know that you're an expert at this because you even stalk your ex many times a day.
Ma'am naman, wag na ibalik si ex, ma'am.
Alam ko naman na expertise nyo yan. Tapos, nagsustok pa kayo kung meron bang girlfriend yung boyfriend mo.
Ano nga sa boyfriend?
Of course, you can do this. This is so chicken. Mas, para tayong FBI, alam natin to. Okay? This is just it. Parang, alam mo yung, meron kang bagong boyfriend, tapos na-research mo na yung kinaunahang girlfriend niya nung high school pa. It's just like that, just simpler, okay? So, that's data mining for you. So, that's our first task. It's now 11 and we have 2 hours to go. And I have your first ever challenge, okay? So, my first ever challenge for all of you is to create a spreadsheet. Okay. I am going to share in the Facebook group chat a Trello board, and it will contain your task for the day. Okay? So, parang hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. Trello is what's this? It's what's wrong with my mind? It's project management tool that a lot of our clients use, and at least you can also access it to see how it works. I'm gonna also give you a sample right now as to how it looks like. Okay, hang on just a sec. Trello. So this is Trello, let's say. The nice thing about Trello is you can transfer it like that. It's so cool.
You can manage.
Huh?
You can manage. Or you can edit.
Yeah. So I'm going to create a Trello board right now.
Like Asana.
Yes, it's like Asana, but it's simpler. And let's start here because I know that a lot of people don't know yet. What the hell is happening? What's wrong? Okay, hang on. So I'm going to create a Trello board, and that will be our Trello board for your tasks, okay? Because every day we will have tasks, okay? Is that fine with you?
Yes.
Yes, it's okay.
Yes. It's great.
Because you know why? You will never learn if you don't do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Of course.
You will really not learn because I don't believe in trainings na like parang they will just keep praising themselves na ito ako ito ako ngayon, ang dami ko ng pera, and then they will show their like cars and all that. We don't care. Just show us how to do it.
Baka man pag puro ano lang, parang verbal lang, 10 to 20% lang yung matututunan natin.
Yes. At sa totoo lang, na-bored na ako na I'm always the one talking. So, I wanna see na we're all on the same page and we can really like, parang really see if my recall, because at least ba na we can really measure if this training is useful, okay? Because my ultimate goal is not to like, I don't know, my ultimate goal is not to just hold a training, because this is not a paid training. I want to hire people. I want to hire hopefully all of you, okay? And so it will be embarrassing for me to promote your name and like tell my client na, uy, ito si Jared, ang galing-galing niya, Vanessa is so good, Joanna is so good, everybody. And then sa lead generation, fail na agad. Okay?
Okay.
Like after ma-check na lang yung client yung spreadsheet mo, tapos 5 lang ang nandun.
Okay.
It has happened to me so many times, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Pero, kunyari nun, ma'am, yung pinagawa niyang pag pinagpagawa si client ng spreadsheet, may binibigay naman si client kung ilan yung kailangan. Or buong, kunyari, for example, dun sa New York, kung ilan talaga yung pharmaceutical na pharmacy dun sa New York kung kailangan po sa buong New York.
Now, what I want is for you to have at least 100 entries. Okay? I want you to have at least. But if you can do more, much better. Show me what you've got. Because this is for you to practice. This is not for me. I will not even use this information because anong paki ko sa mga pharmaceutical? Actually, wala akong gamit dyan. And to be honest, I already have like leads na parang almost 1 million sa lahat ng business ng Amerika. So, I don't need it, but our clients, your potential clients will need it. And I will need you to at least, parang when that happens, ay, expert na ako dyan. Diba? Okay, before we do that, I want you to do the Pomodoro thingy, okay? If you don't have this, obviously, not everybody has this, but we all have cell phones, right?
Yeah.
So, may timer tayo sa cellphone. Instead of using it as your delete na your Facebook wall. Don't comment, char lang. But you can use your timer, okay? Or you can also use, like personally in my end, I'm using a Mac and I will show you my ultimate favorite software. Maybe you can find something like this when you have time, but I'll show you. Hang on just a sec.
Meron din browser timer.
Ito,
Browser time.
I love this one.
Toggle.
Google Timer.
Hindi yun. That's not the one.
Yeah.
I don't like this. Wait. Ito. Wait lang ha. This is so useful kasi when I do, like, let's say, for example, I'm gonna be writing, let's say, a proposal. Tapos, yung parang ganito, oh. Tapos, yung talagang red. Tapos, like, something like, spreadsheet. Diba? So while I'm working, it's like going towards my deadline, right? So something like that, okay?
I have
So,
a question po.
yeah?
Sorry. Is there any way for us to find out, aside dun sa contact us, yung mga emails, yung mga business emails, meron pa tayong ibang resources?
Yes, okay. You can use LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
You can use even like general rule of thumb, just Google and then it will lead you to links. Like for example, you'll find their Facebook page. You'll find their Facebook profile. You know, kagaya ng pag-stalk mo sa ex-girlfriend ng ex mo. Like everything really. Or, oh, another thing. You can also do this. It's called a who is lookup. Okay? Who is lookup? What's a who is lookup? It's when you look up the owners of websites. If for example, talagang top secret ang taong yan, a lot of times you can just search kung like for example, you want to know sino ang who is lookup ng Shopee, okay? Who is lookup ng Shopee? Let's say. No, wait. What's the spelling of Shopee? Shop, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That one? Is that the one? Why am I so stupid now? I am constantly amazing myself. Okay.
You can also just use Google search kung isa-isa lang.
So, let's say here, Shopee, shop. So let's say for example, okay, yung registrant niya is wala siyang name. So it's a private thing, Shopee shop. Anyway, so let's say for example,
Forest Lee.
let's say, how about, anong website? Think of a website.
Amazon.
Amazon.com. Kalimut naman ko ano yun. Isa.
Website.
So for Amazon.com, the registrar is Mark Monitor Incorporated. And it was registered on 1994, November 1. Oh, that was my birthday. Okay. And it expires on October 30, 2024. It was last updated May 7, 2019. Okay? See? So you will know the owners of websites and like all the information, right?
Thank you.
Okay, so all right, so let's go back. So it's 11:11 now. Okay, so I will send you this ends, by the way, our lecture for the day because I want you to do your first activity because it's so much better that way. We have our first activity that will jumpstart, our workshop, and we're gonna be doing the spreadsheet, the lead generation spreadsheet thingy. Okay, so I'm going to be sending you a link on the Facebook chat group. You just click on the link and join. If you don't have a Trello account, you join Trello, and then you'll be able to access the Trello board. And in the Trello board, we will have the instructions on how to create, instructions on like the activity of the day, okay? Also, I will need you to comment on there the link of your spreadsheet, okay, so that we can easily access it. Okay, so maybe you just you share it. You don't just automatically just share the link, huh? You have to share with the use of Google Sheets. You share it with anyone with link can view. Don't make it anyone with link can edit, because maybe some person in this group will also edit your work. Okay, so anybody doesn't know how to use Google Sheets or Google Docs?
Me.
Okay, somebody. Okay, all right, so let me just review it for your sake, huh? So it just works like Microsoft Office. It's just that it's cloud based, and you just need to sign up with your Gmail account. Okay, so this is how you access it. In your Gmail account, you see this parang siyang telephone buttons. And then you just hit drive. And when you go to drive, you'll be able to see like parang your My Documents, but it's cloud based. Okay, so you have folders in there, and then you just hit new, and then Google Sheets, and then blank spreadsheet. It's just like Excel, but it's just cloud based, meaning if your laptop if you don't have internet, if you don't have power, and your PC like turns off, it will not be deleted. Okay, isn't that the most amazing technology in a long time? I could have saved a lot of heartache before when I was a student. So this is just it. Was that understandable?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So if you have more questions about that, you can reach out, but most of all, find a way you can Google it, okay? So with this in mind, this is not yet the end of our of our session. We still have until 1. I want you to proceed with your task to see if to see if you can do stuff on the go, because that's how clients are. They expect you to do it ASAP anyway. Okay, all right. So any other questions before we proceed with our activities for the day?
We are just looking for pharmaceutical offices in New York. Is that it?
No, no, no,
Oh,
no.
different.
I'm going
different
to
task.
create, that was just a sample. I'm just
Oh,
going to create a task right now. I'm going to create our Trello board. You're going to see it.
okay.
Okay? All right.
Okay.
All right. All right. So you can leave the meeting now. Okay?
Ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much. And
Thank
I'm
you.
so happy to meet all of you.
Thank
And
you. As
we will
well. Thank
continue.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will
Thank
continue
you.
by 9 p.m. tomorrow.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
I will be watching out for your spreadsheets. So best
Yeah.
believe I will be checking the Trello board. I will be sending you the link to the Trello board tonight so that you can create your spreadsheet. Okay? And I want you to label the Trello board with your name. I'm going to create a sample like list there with my name and a spreadsheet, and I want you to follow. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
The format.
Okay.
All right, so still not following instructions. Not following instructions is wrong. Okay, all right,
So,
bye-bye.
ma'am, excuse me. The
Yeah.
deadline of this is until 1 a.m., right?
Well, at least by 1 a.m., I would appreciate that you would have started. And it would be good if it will also be the deadline, but I'm also not, I'm also Basta Judee. Okay. Yeah. So by 1 p.m. I want
AM.
1 a.m. I want you to be able to do as much as you can. If you can do like at least 60, that would be great. Okay. By 1 p.m. I think you can do it. Okay. All right. Okay.
Thank
Bye
you,
bye,
ma'am.
guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
you. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Ma'am,
Bitaw.
ma'am,
Yeah.
the training is supposed to be Monday to Friday.
Yes. Monday to Friday.
That's an off.
Tatsan off. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.